Welcome to Terni and live coverage of the 2022 World Archery 3D Championships. We're right in the center of the beautiful Italian countryside for something just a little bit different. I'm Karen Bashir, and I'm delighted yet again to welcome our brand new and very special expert, James Kent, known in archery circles as Grizzly Jim. Come stai, Jim. Well, we've got the Barebow action. The athletes are out and ready to go.
Here we go, straight into it. Now, the equipment we're looking at now, as we've gone through the competition, starting with longbow, onto traditional, now onto barebow, it's a little kind of upgrade to the equipment each time. So we're at the sort of the third position now. We're looking at sort of more technically advanced equipment. We're looking at sort of almost Olympic style risers, but they've had all the sights stripped off, the long stabilizations taken away. Again, it's just the bow and the archer, but this bow's just a little bit more technical than the ones we've seen previous, but we're in for a good show here.
And we're going to start with the Barebow women's bronze medal match. It's Suzanne Steiniger-Borbath-Vanko from Austria going up against Fawn Girard from the USA. Good start from the pair of them. Jim, for those people that didn't join us in the first session, just tell us a little bit about what we're about to see, because it looks a lot like field archery.
We're very similar to field archery again, but like last time, instead of flat 2D round faces that you would normally see in a WA field event, we're actually shooting at 3D objects. I think for this competition, they are mostly animals. I think they're all animals actually, but there is a defined scoring zone on that animal, representing where the vitals would be if you were to be hunting that animal. We must iterate that these are not real animals. These are made of foam and made of rubber, so no animals are harmed during the making of this event. But it is you're shooting at a tangible 3D target in this tournament rather than a flat 2D target, and it makes things a little bit more interesting. As I mentioned before, we are humans, we see in 3D, so it kind of makes sense that we shoot 3D objects. But what they're doing now is they're just having a good look at the object. There's on that peg there. There's a very detailed image of the target they're about to shoot. So they're going to study that. They're going to look at where the scoring zone is on the animal. We're looking at the inner scoring zone is an 11. The next size out is a 10. The lung area or the wound area is an 8, and then anywhere else on the body is a 5. So we're looking for a maximum score of 11 over 4 targets, 1 arrow at a target for a maximum score of 44. So yeah, we're on to the second target now, so we'll see where these ladies end up.
Yeah, shooting on slopes, as you can see here, this second target has proven to be a tricky one. In fact, the second and third targets are probably arguably the hardest. But as you can see, Girard on the left is not considerably taller than Steiniger on the right. They're on a steep slope, and I mean, that adds its own nuance to the sport.
It does.
Good to say.
This is where the skill comes in.
Yeah, and it's good to say, though, that the weather has been kind to us today, that we're actually in a venue that wasn't originally planned for these finals. More on that in just a second.
11. And 8.
Well, provisional score of 18 for Steiniger and 19 for Girard. Like I say, we're in a stadium that wasn't planning to host this World Championship final because the storms that came in yesterday here in Italy actually washed away the other venue, almost completely destroyed. So we're in this beautiful Roman amphitheatre right in the middle of Italy. If you go north, south, east, west, we are pretty much smack bang in the middle of the country.
It was absolute carnage back at the back at the venue, I was looking at some of the social media footage, and it was just insane the amount of water that came down in such a short period of time. It's kind of bordering on biblical, I think it was. But no, this makes a nice change. I was a little bit worried that it could get rained off, but these archers, they're made of strong stuff. A little bit of rain isn't going to dissuade them.
Well, we're already on to target number 3, this squirrel, and as Grizzly Jim says, we're going for the vitals, and of course it is a dummy animal.
See, with this equipment, as I mentioned, we've sort of gone up a level of equipment. So we're looking at much more efficient equipment now. We're looking at very skinny carbon arrows again, high performance limbs. You know, we're looking at good arrow speed. It really is sort of like the next level of equipment.
Yes, confirmed. Susan Steininger is leading by 1.
Tight match as well, isn't it, Jim? At 27 plays 28.
Oh, why do they do this to me? I'm a wreck. But yeah, here we go. It all comes down to this.
So pretty quick, this sport, especially when you come down to these head-to-heads. The athletes have one target left, 1 arrow each to decide this bronze medal at the World Championships.
Both competitors there eyeing up the target, trying to just get as much information as they can from their initial look. You know, they're looking at the sort of the vital signs to know exactly where to place the arrow, because it's so crucial. You know, half an inch either way is you know, you're going home with a medal or not. It really is kind of crucial to get as much information as you can and make that shot count, because you only get 1 arrow per target, so it's got to count.
Girard has a footing. This to decide the bronze medal. Oh, well, I think.
I think the reaction says it all.
Oh, that's a solid shot from Steininger Vanko.
She knew from the second she let go of that string. She knew. That was tremendous. So we have another Austrian on the podium. Look at her face. This is so good to see.
Finishing with an 11 as well for a 39, which I think is the best score we've had all day. 39 plays 32, so the bronze medal goes to Austria's Susanne Steininger Vanko.
Well, she's elated. I mean, even sort of getting knocked out at this stage, you've still achieved a tremendous, you know, feat. I mean, coming fourth in the world, it's nothing to sniff at. So, you know, just because you don't get a medal doesn't mean you don't deserve to be there. Doesn't mean you haven't earned a tremendous amount of respect. But no, that was a nice match. That was good to see, and what a strong finish! Absolutely fantastic. It's this competition is being dominated by Italy and Austria at the moment. It's two very strong archery nations, really flexing their muscles right now.
Yeah, double gold earlier on today in the first session for Juliana Bassi and Giuliana Faletti in Austria, picking up 2 gold medals at the end of the day in the traditional discipline with Claudia Weinberger and Klaus Grunstiedel. And Austria have a shout at the gold here in the Barebow women's individual competition.
This will be a good one again, I think. It's
Representing Austria,
Italy versus Austria, the two strongest nations in these 3D Archery World Championships. Cinzia Nosiglia from Italy goes up against Rosemarie Leitner from Austria. So one country is going to step up to 3 gold medals today, 3 world champions. Will it be Italy or will it be Austria?
something to note as well, looking at these barebows. There's barebow archer tends to have a lot of weight. You don't have a long stabilizer like you do in Olympic style archery, but you still require that weight. So they have these short, stubby kind of stabilizers, these very heavy weights. So it's although you need a lot of strength to pull these things back, the barebows are very heavy in the hand as well. But a heavy bow is a stable bow, which we'll see by the quality of scores that are getting put in at the moment.
So the final lap of the gold medal chase is upon us. Leitner of Austria just taking her time.
And could you see how her fingers were quite away under the arrow? That's called string walking. That's an aiming method where you sort of, depending on where you hold the string in conjunction to the arrow, it changes the sort of sight picture and where your arrow's likely to go. It's just one of the many sighting methods used by these 3D archers, but bare bows tend to use string walking method, instinctive or traditional as it was used to be, as it's called now, I should say. They tend to use more of a gap method or an instinctive method, same as the long bowers.
Well, as we can see, Leitner just taking a 2-point lead at the first target, but what was most notable was the deep breath out that she took. And in fact, the deep breath out worked, because she managed to push her arrow from a 10 into an 11. So that's now been upgraded. The highest score that you can get on an individual target.
I wish I could do that by breathing.
The nerves are calmed now for Leitner. She's got off to the start that she wanted.
It's a good position to be in. Take a strong early lead. That's how you walk away with the shiny stuff.
Just starting to see the sun creeping through the clouds here a bit. So that's another thing that could affect their sight picture.
Well, it's not so much the sight picture. It's more sort of the environmental impact. Sort of, if you've got the sun in your eyes, it could be more beneficial to a left-handed or a right-handed archer. It's just a bit of a lottery when you're out sort of in the field like this. You never quite know what nature's going to throw at you. But these archers seem to be taking it all in their stride. They seem to be looking really calm, confident.
10. So Cinzia is back of 2 points, but Rosemarie Leitner is leading by 1.
Well, at the halfway stage, it looks like a provisional 1-point lead for Leitner. Outscored on that second target by Nosiglia, 10-8, but we do wait for those scores to be confirmed, of course.
We wouldn't want to jump the gun now, would we?
Well, those scores have been confirmed: a 10 for Nosiglia and an 8 for Leitner. 19 plays 18. The Austrian now with just a 1-point lead.
so close, but you'd expect it to be at this level of competition. It really is the cream of the crop here.
So now moving to a downward gradient. Previously they were on a lateral slope. So they're having to adapt to every single target.
Yeah, you'd have to take into account the angle and add more or less to what you think the distance is, depending on the gradient. It really it's an art. String walking is. It really is. It's they look like two very solid arrows there.
Yeah, perhaps the Italian slightly better. Is she going to edge into the lead here? Well, they leave us waiting on the scores.
They're playing with us.
Yeah, well, they've both scored a 10 in that third target, so still just a 1 point lead for Leitner, and we're down to the final target.
So then a couple of millimeters one way or the other is going to decide this match. It's intense stuff. It really is.
Gold medal up for grabs.
Who wants it more? That's the question you got to ask yourself.
Another look from Leitner. There's a bit of indecision from the Austrian.
Every possible advantage. You want to know absolutely everything. You want to get the angle right. You want to get the distance right. Everything's got to be perfect for this. It's especially when there's 1 point in it. It's the mental gymnastics is crazy at this point.
Oh, Leitner just taking her time here.
8, 5.
Oh, well, that one looks like it's turned around there. A deep breath from Leitner wasn't enough. It was a slightly calmer Nosiglia from Italy who has, by the looks of things, taken this as a handshake from Leitner to Nosiglia. They think they've decided it. 34 provisionally placed, 36 with the Italian provisionally the new world champion.
Just waiting for that judge's arm to go up. I think I know which way it's going to go. Yes.
Well, there it is. The world title is now in the hands of Cinzia Nosiglia from Italy. Gold medal number 3, world title number 3 for the Italians on home soil.
What a day for the Italians. They must be. Their momentum's playing a huge part in this. They are steamrollering. It's that home ground advantage is doing them well. It's good to see.
It's fascinating as well the speed at which these individual matches take place. I mean, if anything, it's got faster than it was this morning.
Yeah, we don't mess around in 3D. We want to get to a bistro for a gelato and a limoncello. Get it done. Get some dinner, damn you.
It's a wonder why you're not competing, Grizzly Jim, or is it just that you've had too much gelato and one too many limoncellos?
Quite possibly. I might have another stab at it one of the days. It's a lot of effort.
Yeah, and you've got a young family as well, so it's makes it tricky to compete. When was the last time you shot in anger?
Last time I shot in anger was I don't know, quite a while ago. I've been shooting for pleasure for the past couple of years.
Yeah, always the best way.
Yeah, I went to an amazing event in 3D event in America back in 2018. I went to ETA, stands for Eastern Traditional Archery Rendezvous, and that's sort of like, it's just if you're a traditional archer, you need to go there at least once in your life. And that was probably the last big event I went to. Other than that, I've done some.
That's what it means to be world champion
I
once
just have to hold you
again.
for a second.
It's amazing. Maybe more amazing than the first one. I'm not yet understand what is happened, but I know I'm very, very happy and very proud.
Okay, you came from behind in that match. You were 3 points behind after the first end. How do you feel and how do you recover from pressure like that?
In 3D with only 4 arrows, I think that never is always decide until the end. And so I say, okay, I shoot an 8, but the other girl can shoot an 8 too. And so I say, try to do the best until the last target.
Okay, can you tell us a little about your opponent? Have you shot with her before? Do you know what she is capable of, the opponent in the final today? Do you know much about your opponent in the final today, the girl you shot against in the final? You know? Sorry, yeah.
Okay. And I never met her before. And I shoot during the qualification round with the other 2 Austrian girls, but I don't know her, and so I can say nothing about her. I see that she shoots very well. I see in semi-final she shoots very well too, and a good score even in qualification. So I think that she's a very good archer. Yes.
Of course. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Okay.
Our very happy young Italian Cinzia Mosglia there, getting her 2nd world title.
And why wouldn't you be? She must be at top of the world. She's a formidable opponent, that one. It's one to keep an eye on in the future, I think.
Yeah, we've got a bit an idea of her temperament as well there. She said she stayed calm after that 8 versus 11 on the first target. And you know, it's quite a good philosophy, isn't it? Well, if I can shoot an 8, so can she.
Yeah, that's what wins you the big cheeses. You gotta be calm, be controlled. If you let nerves get the better of you, you're gone. That's why this level it's such a mental game. Who's mentally strong enough to hold on for as long as possible.
Now, we're talking about you and your involvement in the sport. And whilst you say you haven't shot in anger for a while, you're still very active.
Yeah, well, I that's what I do. My whole thing is I'm passionate about archery. It is my passion in life. I've dedicated my life to it really, and I just spend my time sort of promoting archery, getting people involved in archery. Up until COVID hit, I was going all over the world doing seminars and workshops and things with people. Obviously, sort of the pandemic put the kibosh on that for a bit, but things are starting to happen again, and I'm starting to be able to get out and work with people again. And it is. I just my job is to promote archery and get as many people shooting, or get a bow in as many people's hands as possible, and make it accessible. You know, and that's what 3D archery is. It's it's hugely fun. And this is why I gravitate towards this style of archery. It's definitely my jam.
Well, more on that shortly, Jim, because now it's time for the women's individual barebow victory ceremony here in Terni at the World Championships.
Medals will be presented by World Archery First Vice President, Mr. Mario Scherzella. Gift will be presented by Italian Archery Federation Secretary General Ivan Braido. Bronze medal representing Austria.
Well, what delight from Susanne Steinberger, Borbat Vanko from Austria, taking the bronze medal in the women's barebow individual category.
You go, girl. Look at that. She's having the time of her life. What a week! What a week it's been for these guys. It's the emotions are running high, sort of whether you're on the podium or not. It's been a long week.
Silver medal representing Austria.
Well, she got off to a flyer, Rosemary Leitner, with an 11 on the first target.
Leitner.
But you could see that she was battling with nerves throughout. She's come away with a silver medal, and you can see how emotional she is on that podium. A smile beaming despite getting turned over on the last target. Silver for Rosemary Leitner.
And gold medal and world champion representing Italy.
And for the second time, Cinzia Losglia from Italy claims the Barebow women's individual world title. Special moment as well for Mario Scarzella, the Vice President of World Archery, presenting the medals. And it's fantastic to see that the officials here at this tournament in Italy are paying tribute, wearing black in honour of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who died just a couple of days ago.
Stand for the national anthem of Italy. Ladies and gentlemen, please honor our athletes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the competitor for the bronze medal match in Barebow. Representing the United States of America, Daniel Combs. Representing Italy, Giuseppe Simandi. The judges Puri Echo, ready for the first arrow. So it's a 508 for columns, 10 for Simandi.
Questa 5 quanto è bella, guarda. Da ieri
So 5 points advantage for Giuseppe Simandi, eagle for France. And for columns, yeah, looks 11 for Mandy.
Lo faccio io. Vai tranquillo, tanto non c'è il numero mio, tanto non mi stacca lei.
Confirmed, Simandi is leading 21-15.
Queste ne mancano
10 or 11 versus 8.
dopo queste ne mancano 5. Me ne prendo io qua. Ci sto. Guarda la 5, guarda la 5, guarda la 5. No, comunque non sentivo nessuno, non intendo per niente. C'hai ragione. No, c'hai ragione Paolo.
31 for Simandi, 23 for Columns. We go to the last arrow of this World Medal Match final.
Anche a te. Non c'è avanti.
Simandi 8, maybe 10, Columns 10, but does not change because the bronze medal goes to Giuseppe Pingu Simandi. And it's confirmed officially, bronze medal for Italy.
Bravo Pintu!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the competitor for the gold medal match in Barebow men. Representing France, David Jackson. Representing Canada, William Melnick. The judge of the match is Mr. Jesus Guevara. And we're ready for the first arrow. Eight, maybe 10 for Jackson and 8 for Melnick.
Vedi 5,
10-8 confirmed. It's the advantage of Jackson. Eleven. So Jackson is increasing his advantage. He's leading now 21-13 versus Melnik. Eight. 10 or 11. So Melnik is back by 2 or 3 points.
Target 11.
8-11, so 3 points are covered. 29-24, now we have 5 points between the two archers when we are missing the longer shot. Five.
Adesso intervista a prevenzione.
And officially confirmed, the gold medal goes to the France team. Now the interview of the winner, then the award ceremony for the Barebow. Meanwhile, we move to the compound bow.
Mettete in cattiva luce, non li vedo perché a me proprio io non ho proprio sentito per niente.
Okay, good. Congratulations, David. A successful defense of the world title. How does it feel to defend a world title?
Oh man, it feels so great. It's the best feeling I've ever felt doing archery in a competition like that. It was a tough year. I really wasn't expecting anything much for this tournament. Sorry, still a bit shaking after the emotions. Yeah, amazing tournament. I was first on the 2 first days of qualifications, shot a silver team mixed team medal, and now the gold medal in individual. It's just amazing, man. I'm so happy.
You seemed very relaxed in the final round there. Did you sleep well last night? It seems easy for you now, is that correct?
Yeah, I guess it was my best night this night because I only slept for 4 or 5 hours on all the other nights of the week. So I had some sleep to catch up to, and yeah, it seems to have worked. But maybe I looked relaxed, but inside it was completely the contrary. Maybe you saw that on my last arrow when I had a really big twitch and I had to reset my shot, and it worked. I shot a strong arrow after that. Really happy.
Fantastic. And where can you go from here? Obviously the world field is coming up, and do you think you can come back again and win another world title?
Well, the thing I tell myself for every championship is that yes, I have the desire to win medals, but it's not my primary objective. I just want to have fun. I want to feel the thrills of the competition, and I want to keep improving as an archer and as a person. And yeah, everything worked out this time.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That's wonderful to hear from him. That's a wonderful ethic he's got there. It's good to see people shooting for the enjoyment of shooting. I mean, you know, it's when life becomes medals, archery is just not as fun. But no, he's definitely heading in the right direction. What a talented young archer he is.
Well, heading in the right direction. He's defended his world title, and high five around from the French contingent here in Terni, Italy. And now he's done his interview, he will be making his way to the top of the podium.
Hai detto che ti hanno cambiato dei messaggi, sì. Le camere sono tutte puntate su... Prende una.
As the skies start to cloud over again, we will have this medal ceremony for the men's individual barebow category. And then we move on to our final category, the compound bronze and gold medals for the women first, and then the men. Well, it looks like they're all ready to go for this medal ceremony, but we're missing a couple of key components.
Yeah. I can't think who's missing, but there's somebody missing. I mean, like, once you've been out there with a group of people, they become your family. And if you do well, they're not going to let you go. They just want to, they want to hug you, they want to high five you. It's like running the gauntlet of your teammates can take a while sometimes.
Well, they're ready to come out now.
Medals will be presented by World Archery Executive Board member Jean-Michel Leroy. The gift will be presented by Fitarco Umbria Regional President Franco Sensi. Bronze medal representing Italy.
He shot a massive score of 39 in the bronze medal match, was dominant against the USA's Daniel Collins. The bronze medal goes to Italy's very own Giuseppe Simandi.
Well deserved as well. He deserved that. What a performance! What a score!
Silver medal representing Canada.
It was a tough ask to go up against the reigning world champion. Didn't put in perhaps his best performance, but William Melnick of Canada takes the silver medal.
He has earned his Tim Hortons on the way home. He'll enjoy that. Impressive display.
Gold medal and the world champion representing France.
There he
But
is.
he's done it again, back-to-back world titles for this Frenchman. David Jackson is the 2022 Barebow Men's 3D Archery World Champion.
What a ring to it that is. He was on about sleeping early. He's gonna sleep well tonight when he eventually gets to bed after everyone's bought him a drink. But yeah, he'll sleep soundly tonight. His dinner's gonna taste that much better. He's just gonna be on top of the world. What an effort for all three of those athletes. That's a really strong finish from all of them. I'm proud of them all.
Tremendous performance indeed from the three medalists. In the bronze medal position, Giuseppe Simandi from Italy. Silver medal goes to Canada's William Melnick. And it's David Jackson for the second time in a row taking the world title for France.
I want to see those two shoot something.
I bet
Put
they're
them in.
pretty good. Well, we move on now to the final category, the compound category. So it's something that perhaps most of the audience are a little bit more familiar with, certainly in terms of the bow style. But Jim, you said that as we've progressed through this tournament, moving from longbow to traditional through barebow to compound, if you like, the equipment gets a little bit more advanced.
It does, and this is about as advanced as it gets. It's what these guys are shooting here is tantamount to a rifle. You've got a very accurate bow. It's got two sights on it. It's got a rear sight called a peep sight, and then you've got a magnified scope at the front. Unlike the bows we've seen previously, a normal bow, you pull it back. The further you pull it back, the harder it gets. A compound bow's a bit different. Starts very hard to pull back, but then it gets easier as the string goes over the cams and the pulleys that are involved. So you end up holding, when you're at full draw, holding almost nothing, and just a few pounds, rather than sort of 40, 50 pounds that you'd be seeing on the other types of bows. It really is a very, very accurate bow style. That doesn't mean it's easy. Everyone's got an advantage, so it's all about compounds. You're expected to get the maximum score. It's whoever drops the score. It's a little bit different with compound. It's a very interesting bow style. I think we're going to see some very high scores. It's going to be very close at the top of this one.
Well, here we go. It is the compound women's bronze medal match. Italy featuring yet again, and again up against an Austrian, Irene Francini from Italy, against Ingrid Ronacher of Austria.
Now, the one thing we're going to see differently in this is the shot process is probably going to be a lot longer. We'll see him at full draw for a lot longer, and the shot's going to take a little bit longer to happen.
11 Ronacher, 10 Franchini, +1 for Austria.
Two very solid arrows. And as predicted, we're on a slightly different set of targets for these archers, because being compound, being sighted, those targets are going to be pushed back a little bit further. They're going to be shooting slightly longer distances to challenge these sighted archers. And it's the only category in this tournament that does have a sight. So that needs to be balanced slightly.
I suppose it makes it neither easier nor harder whether the target's closer or further away. You have to adjust to that distance, and of course they can see the distance, but they don't know exactly what it is. Whereas on a range, you know exactly the distance you're shooting.
Where you're looking at, with compound, you are very much distance judging is king here. If you're even a tiny bit off with these type of bows, it's the difference between an 11 and a 10. I imagine throughout this sort of section of the competition here, we're going to be seeing a lot of 11s, a lot of 10s. It's really is a very accurate bow style. But yeah, and it's very similar setup to target. Although from my experience with compound and 3D, you tend not to have too high a magnification on your scope, because if you've got too high a magnification, you bring it up on the 3D target, all you're going to see is just a sea of brown. So you tend not to be too magnified, although there's usually a bit of magnification there. But these guys are off to a great start. We've got a 10 and an 11. It's going to be another tight one for bronze.
We move on to the second target.
It's quite refreshing to see some different targets now. It'll be but you notice these archers aren't using their fingers to loose the arrow. They're using what's called a release aid, so you get a very, very straight shooting arrow. There's nothing of your fingers to foul the string up. It's
so now Austria is leading by
it's
6
incredible.
points after 2 arrows.
I mean, you get a lot of people that think because the way the bows are with the sights and the let off, you think, oh, compound's easy. And if you're a target archer and you go from a recurve to a compound, your scores will improve. That's definite. But everybody's scores improve, and it's the top archers that keep their score improved. They don't drop points. It's about not dropping points rather than scoring points as a compound. And it is tough mental. I've got a lot of respect for compound archers. Us traditional archers, we like to poke fun at various bow styles, especially the compounders. But it comes from a place of respect because there's a tough discipline, and you've got to be switched on to do well in this game.
Well, a big gap here. The Italian now trailing by 6 points.
Just making those micro adjustments on the sight, just a click one way or other can be outside the 11.
Well, Ronacher walks away looking fairly happy with her treatment of the third target.
So 2 arrows on the line, 8 maybe 10 for both the athletes.
See some friends of mine on the run up to the Worlds back in 2017. They'd go out for walks with their rangefinder to practice range finding. It's such a key component, sort of making sure you can range a target well. Because if you at that sort of level, a couple of clicks off on your sight, it's all over. So you've got that's such an important skill is range finding.
And the diff, I suppose, from shooting in a target scenario is that you've got quite a big area to aim at and to centre on, whereas, I mean, that third target's minuscule, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I quite like that. I quite like something small to aim at. It really focuses me in. I mean, I'm a big fan of the saying, aim small, miss small. And that really does come into its own in 3D, because it's nice to sort of just pick out a little spot. You know, if there's a little bit of shadow or there's a little white spot right where you want to put the arrow, it really focuses the mind, really draws you in, gives you something to really aim at.
Well, a slightly bigger target for the fourth target, but Francini trailing by 6 points. This is going to be a big ask for the Italian. Ingrid Ronacher, 11, 10 and 8 so far in this bronze medal match, is in control.
Five.
Well, we actually heard that Francini's last arrow was marked up by 2 points, so a 5 there from Ronacher for a 34. Where's that gone?
That is on the line.
Is that enough? Is that enough?
They look like they're in the same
So
spot.
it will be probably a 1 point victory. Let's see. We really
Looks
need
like
the
it may well
confirmation
be an
from the
8
judges.
for Franchini, and from 6 points behind, she's done a lot, but she hasn't done it enough. We wait for confirmation. They're having a really good look at this arrow.
They're going to scrutinize that so closely, especially when it's so
See the
tightly
judges checking
contested.
the line.
She's done so well to bring that
Provisionally a
back.
5. It doesn't
Yep.
matter whether it's a 5 or an 8. It wasn't enough. And Ingrid Ronacher from Austria takes the bronze medal at the World Championships.
It really is Austria and Italy's party, isn't it? They are both nations dominating this
Austria
competition.
for the bronze medal.
It's amazing.
That was a lot tighter in the end than perhaps it could have been.
Yeah, I did. After that sort of wobbly shot, I didn't expect it to be so tight at all. But it just goes to show anything can happen in these tournaments. You know, you can't write anybody off straight away. You gotta wait till the last arrow's been shot. Unfortunately, it didn't quite pan out for the Italian, but she'll have another shot in a couple of years. Just some tremendous shooting there, though, from both women. It was lovely to see.
Well, Ingrid Ronacher from Austria has come away with the bronze medal. We're about to find out who is going to take gold, and it's another new country. It's not the USA. She's just looking on.
Joella Bates. She's a tremendous archer. Joella there. She's decorated many times. It does a lot for the archery community again. It's good to see her at this tournament.
Well, the display they've put on here in Italy has been quite fantastic in this Roman amphitheatre. Given the fact it wasn't supposed to be here, they have really put on a show.
No, these guys have crushed it. I'm a big fan of the pageantry, and these guys are getting 10 out of 10 from me. They're having some fun with it. It's looking fantastic. I mean, such an amazing location. I mean, I imagine as a tourist, you probably don't get to see this thing up this close. And these guys are shooting bows and arrows at it, which is amazing.
Yeah, it is an incredible venue. This Roman amphitheatre.
Oh, always one for a photo opportunity. Look at that. These guys have worked so hard putting this together. They should be proud of themselves.
Compound woman gold medal match.
Well, here we go. Time to go for gold again. And it's another chance for Italy to get another gold medal on home soil. Elisa Baldo from the host nation takes on a new country to these finals, Ida Karlsson from Sweden.
There we go, Sweden again. Very passionate about their archery, Sweden. I know a few of the guys from the Swedish team. Unfortunately, I didn't see them in the finals this time, but they are a nation that just loves their archery. I mean, they wouldn't be here if they didn't. But no, this will be a good matchup. I'm not going to lie, it'd be nice to see somebody else take gold, but I've got no favourites in this match. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the archery.
So, Karlsson shooting on the left side of the peg up against Baldo on the right. Shooting in this Fausto amphitheatre dating back to the 1st century AD. So, in fact, built before the Colosseum in Rome. This really is a truly ancient monument. So, what a privilege it is for us to be here.
Oh, look at that. Look at a solid shot that did. Solid. Really well executed. Both shots, very well executed. I think the score is going to show.
Well, just a single point in it, but a cracking start to the match. Jim, just looking at Baldo's bow, it looks very small.
Yeah, I mean, bows they vary in size. It's it's all about what you're comfortable with. Archery is so individual. Some people prefer a longer bow, some people prefer a shorter bow. Certainly with the traditional side of things, I tend to like a fairly short bow, but I find if a bow gets too long, it gets a little bit slow, a little bit clumsy for me. But everyone's going to find that setup that works for them. General rule of thumb, you tend to find short bows tend to be a little quicker, but a little bit more critical. A longer bow is going to give you sort of a little bit more stability, a little bit more forgiving, but you might lose a couple of feet per second in speed. But bow speed is very important to these guys shooting the compounds. You need a good bow speed. That's gonna be more beneficial to you if you are a couple of clicks out on your sight. If you've misranged it by a couple of feet, you are it's not going to be as critical if you've got a very fast bow. If it's a slower bow, that's going to be that differential is going to be more apparent. So, but these guys spend hours and hours tuning their bow. It's almost like a religion to these guys.
I
But
just saw
they
Carlson
certainly
there, just making a very significant adjustment to her scope by the looks of things, her sight.
it's I've missed what target we're looking at. It depends if it's up or down. It can change where you need to put your sight, but these guys will know exactly where to put it to get the arrow where they want it to go. As long as they've made the calculations, they've ranged it right, they know exactly what they're doing. They can if it's uphill, downhill, they can make the calculations and put the arrow exactly where they want it to. Hopefully. But again, you've got a lot of dead ground there. That's gonna throw a few people off in ranging.
So 18 Baldo, 21 for
So it looks like a 10 versus an 8 there in favour of the Swede. So she extends her lead, which is now 3 points at the halfway stage. And again, making those adjustments in between every target.
Confirm 21 Carson, 18 Baldo.
And adjustments being made by Baldo now as well. Well, the Swedes getting behind their charge.
A lot of passion in the crowd, which is what you want really in a final.
Absolutely is. Halfway stage of this world title match-off. Ida Carlson of Sweden leading by 3 points against the home nation's Elisa Baldo. Two cracking looking shots.
Yeah, they are both just tit for tat. They are shooting both very well. There's a little bit of a discrepancy in one of them, but it's for the most part they've been sort of so close. It's
both coming away from that third target with a 10. So there is a chance here for Baldo, trailing by 3, but she needs Carlson to, well, lose the middle of the target, so to speak. She's shot an 11-10-10 so far in the match, compared to Baldo's 10-8-10. Carlson showing no signs of giving this one up. Barebow just taking a little bit more time to get her sighting.
It all comes down to this.
Carlson
Hard
doesn't
to read
look
the
happy.
faces.
11 here would be make this interesting for Barebow. 8 provisionally scored by Carlson.
Ooh,
And is
ooh.
that a 10 or an 11?
Oh,
Oh, this now is very tight indeed. They are going to have to measure that arrow from Barebow. They're going to have to go down and have a good look at it. Carlson looking down. She's been marked as an 8. That looks like it's going to stand.
this must seem like an eternity.
If this is an 11, we are going to have a shoot-off, our first of the tournament. What does the target judge say?
Oh, she.
It is indeed an 11
Oh.
from Barebow to the 8. So they both finish on 39 points after the 4 targets. And we go to a 5th target now for the first shoot-off of these individual World Championship medal days. What a way to decide the world title, Jim.
If you want a final, this is it. It comes down to one arrow, one shot. Golden arrow, if you will. Closest to the center wins. Someone takes home all the biscuits. This is very exciting.
So we will see who will be the world champion in combat woman shooting on the shoot-off target. This amazing right here.
Sweden, famous for their producing high quality flat pack furniture. Let's see if they can produce a world champion.
For the combat woman to understand the title of world champion.
Well, they are getting ready now to go for this shoot-off for the gold medal. It's a single arrow, as it is in range archery. This for a world title. This time Barebow is the one to make the changes and adjustments to a sight quicker than Carlson. Carlson still looking, checking, double checking. Barebow
Both
also
archers equally qualified to be there. Just who can hold on the longest? Who can make that shot? Who can keep it together?
Carlson's put hers into the target and again doesn't look particularly happy. Hard for us to know what she shot. Long hold, and she's going to go for the redraw here.
There we go. That's the difference between a good archer and a great archer. A good archer will power through. A great archer will come down, reset, and have another go.
Oh, and what a comeback from Elisa Barebow. What a brilliant way to finish the gold medal match and claim a world title. She had to redraw. The nerves were jangling, but she has taken the world title in a shoot-off against Ida Carlson from Sweden.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. What a way to win a world championship. Well done.
2 11s indeed. What a way to finish the world title. They have confirmed it. They had actually put up for Carlson was going to win, but the target judge went back, revised her decision, came back, and it is indeed Elisa Barebow collecting Italy's 4th world title here at the 3D Archery World Championships and on home soil here in Terni.
What a day for the Italians. Incredible.
Well, indeed, what a way to finish that match. An 11-10-10 for Carlson, was finished off with an 8. 10-8, 10-11 for Baldo to force the shoot-off. They both shot 11s in the shoot-off tiebreaker on the 5th target. But Elisa Baldo, closest to the center of the target, claims the world title.
It was exhausting in the best possible way. You can really feel the energy levels ramping up in the arena. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of people kind of sort of getting towards kind of like the last, I wouldn't say the main event, but the last lot of shooting. It's a lot of emotions, a lot of people running high. It's pressure's off for a lot of people. They can sit back and relax now and really enjoy the last sort of last couple of matches, and just enjoy the spectacle of archery. And, yeah.
It was a nervy match, though. It was a nervy match between Carlson and Baldo, both of them making lots of adjustments in between the targets, fairly normal. But at the end, it was an 8 plays 11, and under that huge pressure, Baldo shooting the 11 to force that shoot off, and then the quality of the tiebreaker.
That was just, you know, if you want a textbook example of a final with a shoot off, that was it. That was one for the history books. That one is wonderful.
Well, let's go and find out what Elisa Baldo has to say about becoming the world champion.
Congratulations, Elisa. Can you tell us what it means, what it feels to be a world champion?
Thank you very much. It's very contentissima, felice, entusiasta. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, can you tell us a little about the last shot? You came down, came back up, and it was a perfect arrow. Tell us a little what went through your head.
Ok, sono scesa perché sapevo se la tiravo non andava dentro, per cui ho preferito rifare tutto il gesto.
Okay, can you tell us what is your favorite thing? What do you love most about 3D archery?
Valutare.
Estimate. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Okay.
Well, a tremendous performance from Baldo. I think she's slightly overcome with emotions, and it was an emotional ride for her through that gold medal match. I wonder what she's going to be like on the podium in just a few minutes' time.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a little tear or two. It won't be the first time this tournament, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last. But I'm sure I'd shed a tear if I was up there, I think. Especially after that performance. That was incredible.
Well, touch wood, the weather will remain as it has been all day, dry, because we have got one more discipline to sort the medals out for, and that's the compound men's individual. But before
very
that,
much on the home straight now.
Yeah, but before that, we will have the women's compound victory ceremony. But of course, that little pause as Baldo has her photo taken as the newly crowned world champion.
the medal holders there in traditional togas, I think. It's looking good. Well, I say I love all the dressing up that people have done. It gives it such character. So I do like it when people go above and beyond with their tournaments. And like I say, everyone I've ever seen has been a little bit different. Every nation puts its own little spin on it. It's wonderful to see.
Victory ceremony for the Cup women.
So time for the penultimate victory ceremony of the day here at the Archery 3D World Championships in Terni, Italy.
Medals will be presented by World Archery First Vice President Mario Scarzella. Gift will be presented by Fitarco Executive Board Member Carla Di Pasquale. Bronze medal representing Austria.
Well, it was a real battle in the bronze medal match. Irini Francini came back against Ingrid Ronacher of Austria, but not quite enough in the end. And a 5 with her last arrow was enough for Ingrid Ronacher to take bronze at the World Championships.
It was a hell of a match, that was. Hell of a match. Nice to see Sweden on the podium, though. It's mixing things up a little bit.
Well, she was in control from the start. Ida Karlsson shooting an 11 to get her underway, followed by 2 10s. But an 8 in the 4th target opened the door for her opponent, and it was enough for Karlsson to have to settle for the silver medal for Sweden.
That's all it takes at this level. Just give someone a crack in the door and they're through. It's such a competitive level of archery. It's great to see.
A quite spectacular performance from Elisa Baldo. A 10-8-10 meant she needed an 11 with her final arrow to force a shoot off. She did just that. Her opponent shot an 11, but she shot a better 11, and it's taken the Italian to the world title.
Talk about coming in clutch. That was it was fantastic. Well deserved. She'll go home with a big smile on her face.
Well, for the 5th time today, we are going to hear the Italian national anthem.
We should all know the words by now, so let's sing along.
Well, there we have it, the penultimate event done here in Terni. The compound women's individual medals go to Ingrid Ronacker of Austria with bronze, Ida Karlsson of Sweden with the silver, and the new world champion, Lisa Baldo, doing it on home soil in Italy. Well, just one more discipline to sort out here in the Italian countryside, and that is the compound men's individual bronze and gold medal matches, which are coming up right away. Jim, you talked about how the equipment improves and the scoring goes up. I say improves. The equipment is more advanced as you move through the categories. What can we expect from these last two medal matches?
It's going to be pretty much a similar show to the women's. I believe it's a good sort of level playing field nowadays. But we're going to see some high scoring arrows. I think we're going to be again looking at a lot of 10s, a lot of 11s. I don't think lightning's going to strike twice. I don't think we're going to get such an exciting final as we've just seen, but you never know. We're going to see some very strong, solid archery. Again, we've got Austria and Italy, I believe.
Certainly is. We've got Marco Bruno from Italy on the right, taking on Klaus Bittermann of Austria again. And well, I mean, I don't want to say there's needle between these two teams, but we've seen them contesting the medals throughout the day. The two strongest nations by far in the individual tournament, for sure, at these World Championships.
We have been here before today, haven't we? We've seen this multiple times. It's going to be a nice strong battle, I think, for bronze medal. I think we're going to see some very strong shooting.
Are making their final adjustments for the first target.
So you gotta have respect for the guy in the Batman cap. That's confidence there. I like it.
Well, we got a lot of capes running around in the show members of the staff here. I wonder if the caped Crusader can do it here.
Capes need to come back. I think more people should be wearing capes. I think I might try and bring that back. I mean,
look at those shots. What an amazing start.
It's going to be a close one, I think. I'm waiting for the scores to come in to clarify exactly what's what, but both seemed, look at that 11s piece. That's what you'd expect, to be fair, at the sort of this level of compound archery. It's I do like to think of it as you've got to expect them to get the 11s. It's who drops the points rather than who scores them. But it's you've got to be so calm, collected, just execute the perfect shot, move on to the next. And that's what these guys are doing. I would just be terrified. I would ding my bow off one of those rocks. But my bow's already got quite a few dinks in it anyway, so one more wouldn't make a difference.
Well, as you can see, there's sighting, they're using the binoculars, making those adjustments again. Just on cue, you see Bruno there making his adjustments.
It's all the calculations they've got to make. They're sort of, it's an art in itself. It really is. It's one I've never really mastered. My lizard brain doesn't cope with it very well. I just grip it and rip it, see what happens. But these guys are very calculated, making the right moves, making the right calculations. just executing that shot. It's the shot they've shot 1,000 times before, but they just need to do it where it counts now.
Is that quite part of the equipment blanked off for Bitterman?
That's just I believe that's a scope cover. So he just when he's not shooting, he'll put that over the scope just to protect it from dust and rain and things, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that before. An archer shooting with a cover in line of sight, basically.
Well, it's outside their peripheral, so they'll be looking through the peep sight on the string right the way through to the scope. So that wouldn't really encroach, I would have thought, on your area of vision. But I'm not a huge fan of sights anyway. It's cheating. No, I jest. It's not cheating. It's I'm just teasing the compounders, which is should be encouraged.
I dread to look at your social media feed after this competition.
We love each other, really. I've always said it doesn't matter if it's compound bow, long bow, recurve. It doesn't matter as long as somebody's got a bow in their hand. We can be friends. But part of the good-natured teasing is part of the fun, and we all do it.
Well, 22 plays 21. He predicted high scores, and that's exactly what we've got.
So 10 or 11 for Bruno.
So it's gonna come down to the wire. This one.
Well, this is truly about what you were saying, isn't it? It's about the dropping of points. Just the one from Bitterman in the second on the second target dropped one here, but so has Bruno. So it's still a 1 point difference going into the final target. This is on a knife edge.
This is where that kind of mental fortitude comes in. You've got to just hold it together. If you've got a 1 point lead, you got to maintain that lead. You've got to expect the other guy to shoot an 11, so you need to shoot an 11.
Oh, those fine adjustments. I just wonder what's going through the minds of these athletes. Are they just trying to keep it clear? Just stick to the job. Forget about the fact that there's a bronze medal up for grabs.
It's got to be a tough position to be in for the bronze, because the next match you're on the podium no matter what. But this you're fighting for podium. You're either going home with something or going home with nothing. And it's a tough position to be in for third place.
Sounded like a good shot for both of them, both hitting a 10 by the looks of things, and it looks like Bruno has done this one by a single point. In fact, he's been marked up to an 11 for his third target, so it was a two point difference between them going into that. Both shooting 10s to finish off, and that means that Marco Bruno of Italy wins the bronze medal 43-41.
Fantastic. At this level as well, like a 2 point lead, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is quite a lot. It's a good lead. He was on it. He stayed on it. He shot brilliantly. That was really fun to watch. I mean, I don't shoot compound anymore, but I can certainly appreciate a good display of compound archery, and this is what we got here today. World Championships. We're going to see the best of the best, cream of the crop. And these guys didn't fail to deliver.
Well, Marco Bruno of Italy collects yet another medal for the Italians. That is the last of the medals they're going to collect here in Terni, but I mean, what a turnout for them. Absolutely fabulous stuff. Came through the first session winning 6 medals. They picked up another world title in Cinzia Nosglia, a bronze medal with Giuseppe Simandi, another world title with Elisa Baldo, and they have now collected a second bronze at this afternoon's session with Marco Bruno. What a fabulous performance from the host nation. Their closest rivals, Austria, well, they've got to say in the final match of the day, and it's a name that perhaps our range archers are going to be familiar with. It's Nico Viner going up against Hungary's Laszlo Szijjártó.
It's good seeing Hungary coming out again. They're always good to watch. You should never discount them. It's tough going up against the powerhouse that is Austria. They have done so well this tournament. It's quite inspiring, really.
Yeah, Nico Viner as well. The Austrian has just waved his cap on the left-hand side. He's the world number 2 in compound archery. Look, this is a completely different kettle of fish, and you've talked very passionately about it, which is very entertaining, not just for me, but I'm sure the audience listening at home. But
I try my best, Karim. I try my best.
You've done very well indeed. But does it make a difference that Nico Viner is the world number 2? Is this going to be one-way traffic?
It's only going to make a difference to the other guy. I mean, you've got to just shoot your shot. You've just got to, whoever you're shooting against, you just got to expect them to put in the best shot they can. So you've got to put in the best shot you can. If you spend too much time worrying about the other guy, you're not spending enough time worrying about yourself. So I would try and put that in the back of my head and just shoot my shot.
Well, what great shots from the pair of them. If anything, it looks like Szijjártó from Hungary has the slightly better arrow, but we wait for the scores to come back. Remember, this is the gold medal match for the compound men's world title here, and it looks like the pair of them have come away with 10s from the first target.
Ooh, what a way to start. This just 3 more arrows each for the whole wheel of cheese. I mean, this is for these guys, these compound archers, this is it. This is exciting stuff. I mean, again, this guy is sort of, he's spread himself across the target style archery. He can turn his hand to 3D. He's a formidable opponent, but like I say, you got to put that to the back of your mind and just shoot the shot. He's just another guy who's going to shoot well, so you've got to shoot better. But at the moment, we're neck and neck. It's anyone's. Something tells me we're going to have another very, very interesting final here.
Well, 10 apiece to start things off. 3 targets left to go.
So Austria is good at this because they have a lot of ski resorts during the winter, but a lot of those ski resorts become 3D courses during the summer. So you can't really sling a dead cat around Austria without coming across a 3D course. So I'm not surprised there's such a powerhouse in this competition.
Another couple of great shots.
Neither of them want to give up. Neither of them. This is good stuff.
Jim, just while we wait for the scores to come in, I think it's going to be a 10 for Vino. I have to wait for Szijjártó's score to be marked up. Vino's sight, a scope at the end. You can see the little bit of Teflon or whatever it is that's sticking out of it. I've not seen that before from him.
The little bit of wire there. That will be a fiber optic cable. So his pin will have a fiber optic point on it. So the pin he's using in his scope will be very bright. He'll have a very bright, very small dot. And that little wire there, that's just a fiber optic. So that it's hanging out, so it's capturing a lot of light, so it's going to make the spot nice and bright for him.
Right. I've not seen them that long before. I've seen them coming out of the sights before, but maybe by just a couple of centimetres. But that's pretty long.
I think he's probably just overcompensating for something. But no, I've seen it before. It depends on the sort of sight you use. Some have a solid dot, some have a fiber optic dot. It's like a guitar string. Some people leave them a bit longer.
Well, we see that Vina was upgraded to an 11 for his second arrow. And again, both of them, well, there's really very little between where those arrows have hit the target. And would it come down to that second markup? But it looks like it's another 11 for Vina. So he moves on to 32. I believe it's a 10. It is indeed a 10 for Sijato. So a 2-point difference. This is so tight.
It is. I mean, you just got to, you like I say, you got to expect your opponent to put in 11. So you got to put in 11. You've just got to just keep on it and just hope for the best. I mean, it's difficult at this stage to drop a couple of points, but it's still anything can happen.
I don't see it myself, Jim. I don't see it myself. Nico Vina is looking so solid, so strong, so composed that I think this is going to be a massive ask for Sijato.
It's a comfortable position to be in, very comfortable. But it's not over till the last arrow's been shot.
Well, Vinos puts his in. He gives himself a fist bump, and look at how solid that finish is from the pair of them.
Yeah, he's done it. He's done it. Look at him. Well done.
We wait for confirmation, of course, but at first glance at those arrows, the handshakes are coming out from the Hungarian coach and athletes, and Nico Vina, world number 2 on the range, has just become the Archery 3D World Champion here in Terni. Confirmation, there it is. Target judge confirms Austria's Nico Vina as the 2022 World Champion.
What a tremendous achievement for Austria.
It was indeed, but I've got to say that you called it right at the beginning of the day. You said, watch these scores creep up. And in those last 2 matches, we've had a 40, a 41, a 42, and a 43 out of a possible 44. It's incredible shooting.
It is. Like these bows, these compounds are so accurate. But you've got to be accurate to shoot them, because the littlest twitch, the littlest movement, it's the difference between an 11 or a miss sometimes. They're that critical. That's where the skill comes in. Once you've measured the distance, you've got to execute the same shot time after time. And a lot of people think sort of compound's easy mode. It's not. It really isn't. It's such a tremendously difficult discipline. And I've got, I tease compound archers is what it is. We all do. But I've got the utmost respect for these guys who can put in performances like that, tournament after tournament. They can make shot after shot. It's impressive.
Okay, you're gonna look at me, yeah? Okay. Congratulations, Nico. This is yet another world title. Tell me what this one in particular means to you.
This really means a lot, because the first world title I got was in Terni also. And last year I got European Championship in 3D and the world title in outdoor. And so I was really hard training for this tournament to get back on the world champion title, and I'm really happy for it.
Fantastic. You were leading, I'm not sure the whole way through, you were definitely leading by 2 points at the end. How do you feel about leading from the front? Do you get nervous, or do you feel in control?
It is always better to have 1 point more than your opponent, but at the end it's like tough game. Everybody can shoot like at the finals 4 really good, and so I'm really happy to win it.
Of course. Okay. Can you tell me what your favorite thing about 3D is? Maybe different from field or something like that. What do you like so much?
I think 3D is also some fun, because every target is different, and so it's like really hard to get target like the target before and just enjoy it.
Perfect. Thank you. Congratulations. Awesome.
Perfect indeed. Yeah. Always nice to be 1 point ahead, especially at the end.
Yeah, I'd take a point lead. I'd take 2 point lead if I could. You only need 1 point. You only need 1 point more to win. So
that's quite right. And Nico Vina just, well, he came in as favourite for me, and he's walked away with the world title. And very shortly, we will have our final victory ceremony. And well, what a pleasure it is to say, Jim, the rain and hail and wind stayed away today.
We did it. We did it. You know, I think that's because of us. I think that's our positive mental attitude. We kept the rain off. We made this tournament go off without a hitch. So you're welcome. But no, my hopes. I wasn't hoping much when I was seeing some of the footage of the rain earlier in the week. It was scary actually. Some of the rain. It was you know, some of these guys who qualified during that storm. It's impressive. But you know, these 3D archers, they're a tough bunch. They're not going to let a bit of weather stop them. They're going to plow through and do what they can. But this is the bit I always like, seeing all the nations sit down together, you know, cheering people on. They're not even just cheering on their own guys, they're cheering on the other guys. It's such a positive attitude from everybody. It really is. It's the best of archery, really. You know, there's such a positive vibe about it. It's lovely to see.
Yeah, the camaraderie between archers of all disciplines is certainly very impressive, and it's no less here than on the range or in the field or indoors. It's been a tremendous privilege to bring you these World Championship medal matches on the individual day here in Terni. And it's been a great pleasure to have Grizzly Jim guide us through all the action.
It's just made me want to get back and shoot again. It's I'd like to say the whole world has had a tough couple of years, so it's nice to see things getting back to the way they should, and people picking up the bow again, and people getting involved. It's wonderful, and to see the energy at a tournament like this, it's fantastic. It would have been nice to be there in person. But next time, I think. But no, what an incredible experience just to watch this sort of firsthand. Have like a front row seat at everything, and just watch it all unfold, all the stories.
Well, time for the last victory ceremony here at these World Championships. Compound men's individual medals about to be handed out.
I've got to know what's in that bag. I need to know.
Maybe some biscotti.
Maybe a Happy Meal. I don't know. So I could do with one of those right now. It's been a long day.
Gift will be presented by FITARP Executive Board Member Cristina Fermazza.
Well, what a way to finish things off. Secretary General of World Archery, Tom Dillon, out to present the medals. There's another podium appearance for an Italian on home soil. Marco Bruno taking the compound men's bronze medal.
Well deserved too. It was a tremendous effort. Like I need to reiterate, you can't. These guys on the podium here, it didn't just start at 11 o'clock this morning. This has been going on for them for months with qualifying shoots and everything. Everyone, even the people that aren't on the podium, even the athletes in the crowd, they've all worked so hard to get to this stage, and you don't see that level. You just see the sprinkle on top. You don't see all the work that's gone into getting these people over here and the work they've put in. It's inspiring, really. It truly is.
Well, Hungarian Laszlo Zsatos shot a 40 out of a maximum 44. It wasn't enough to get the world title, but he has got world silver. But it's the big man from Austria, the world number 2 on the range.
There
He's
he is.
talented across all disciplines. He shot a 42 in the final. It was a tremendous performance. And Nico Wiener of Austria is the world champion.
Well deserved. Well deserved. He was just on it from the get-go, wasn't he? Just so determined, so controlled.
He certainly was, and he will now get to celebrate with Austria's 3rd hearing of their national anthem.
For the national anthem of Austria.
Well, there we have it. Nico Wiener of Austria claiming the last world title here in the compound men's individual tournament. Laszlo Szijjarto of Hungary getting silver, and Marco Bruno of Italy in the bronze medal position. We have seen a fabulous second session here. Cinzia Nosglia of Italy taking the gold in the women's barebow. It was France's David Jackson taking gold in the men's barebow. Another gold for Italy in the compound women's competition as Elisa Baldo, I should say, from Italy took the gold in a thrilling shoot-off. And the final gold medal and world title going to Nico Wiener of Austria. What a fantastic day of 3D archery here at the World Championships. Jim, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Any particular highlights from this second session?
There's many, but that shoot off has to have been for me. I was on the edge of my seat. I paid for the whole thing. I only used the edge. It was just fantastic. Just seeing it come down to the wire like that was brilliant. The men's compound was fantastic to see as well. But the barebow, I mean, I've always had a bit of a soft spot for the barebow. The whole thing was, I mean, I've said before, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and my passion is the traditional side of things, but I have a deep respect for other forms of archery, and it was so good seeing the barebow archers at their very best. It's so good seeing the compound archers. It's good to see William Melnick up on the podium. He's a fantastic force for good for the barebow community. And it was just what an experience. Just being able to sit here, have a front row seat, watch this whole thing unfold was just phenomenal.
It's been
very much for having me.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you, Jim. Absolutely fantastic to have Grizzly Jim in the commentary box. And thank you to all of you for watching. Tomorrow, we'll be back on the range in South America at 5 p.m. Central European time. So I look forward to seeing you again then. But for now, from Terni, thanks very much.